Oh, right. I get it. There's quite a lot more recolors that I missed in my last video covering the topic. So much so, in fact, that I eventually decided to make this video addressing some mistakes, these new recolors, and also clarifying the recolored animatronics on FNAF AR's side of things. To clarify the rules, again, a recolored character consists of a new character that encompasses an identical model to another character, like Bonnet is to Bonbon. Something like Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Bonnie wouldn't count as a recolor of Freddy because they're different characters with different models, while also sharing a lot of separate parts. I also want to clarify that I won't count withered versions of animatronics as a recolor of them, like the animatronic scene in Ennard's Hard Mode and Help Wanted, and some other places in the series. Characters that are also wearing some sort of clothing or mask, like the plushkins from FNAF AR's DLC, or quite a lot of the FNAF AR selection, don't count as recolors either. And yeah, I don't want to ramble for too long, so let's just get into it. So this is a strange one to begin with, but I don't really know if the Paper Pals count on this list, as they're fairly different but built around the same paper plate format. On paper, they could be recolors, as they're physically paper plates with markers just scribbled on them. Well, anyway, the Paper Pals are small paper plate decorations that made their first appearances in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The three Paper Pals in this game share fairly similar resemblances to Freddy, Bonnie, and Balloon Boy, or the puppet, it's quite hard to tell. On occasion, the Paper Pal named Paper Buddy can disappear off the walls in Party Room 04, and also appear in your office. I also made a whole video describing some interesting facts and all of their appearances in the series. If you want to potentially check it out, I'll leave it in the description because I go into great detail about this character, if you can even consider them actual characters, because FNAF World sure does. Shadow Cupcake is a shadow/phantom recolor of the classic Mr. Cupcake model. On night 3 of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, there are 4 cupcakes on Cam 2, Cam 3, Cam 4, and Cam 6 that the player can click on. Clicking on all 4 of the cupcakes in the same order will give the player access to Chica's party minigame on night 3 of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and also appears at the end of the secret area of the same minigame. All I know is I'm not eating whatever this is. It's like if Chica left her cupcake out for a few days. The golden cupcake, while not physically appearing in any games, shows up as an Easter egg on Cam 4, replacing the Toy Bonnie or sometimes a pink cupcake children's drawing on the wall in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Strangely enough, this golden cupcake shows up with an official render in the Freddy files, for a page on Chica's golden cupcake pizzas. In general, it's strange for the series to put emphasis on an Easter egg of just a yellow version of the cupcake. Makes me think that maybe this was a version of the cupcake from Fredbear's, or maybe even a different location, but just throwing out some ideas. Especially since it sounds like something Mr. Beast would eat for a video. I don't know. Virtua Freddy is an unplayable character in FNAF World, only appearing when the Mimic Ball mimics the character's ability. His design is identical to Adventure Freddy, besides the obvious green grid-like pattern. It kinda reminds me of how Roxanne looks when wearing the AR mask in Ruin. He also has a loading screen, which means he's the only character in the game to have one and also not be playable. Ghost Freddy is another unplayable character in FNAF World that only appears when using the haunting ability with one of the characters in your party. When this is used, Ghost Freddy will slowly make his way to the enemies, leaving them frozen for a few seconds. This version of Freddy has a ghostly blue appearance, and looks identical to that of Adventure Freddy. Well, except for his legs, or more so, his lack of legs. He also has purple eyes with small yellow dots in his pupils. Surprisingly, Ghost Freddy makes an appearance in Freddy in Space 2, where they're simply basic enemies in the Stellar Pit section of the game. Mendo is one of the many shopkeepers present in FNAF World's Fazbear Hills, as the owner of Mendo's Endo upgrades. The store itself sells defense upgrades for your entire party. Though there are some obvious differences, Mendo looks like an Endo 01 that has been entirely colored blue. Mendo also has larger arms, a yellow antenna, a green button present on its chest, and yellow pupils. Adventure Fredbear is another recolor of Adventure Freddy, but recolored in the way that he looked, at the time, to his appearance in Five Nights at Freddy's 4. While hard to notice at first, you can see that he's missing his knee joints present on Adventure Freddy. Adventure Fredbear is the main quest giver in FNAF World, and can join your roster later into the game. I just personally avoid mirrors when I'm around him though. The Crying Child is a weird one to include as they don't actually have any recolors. However, anytime that the player attacks with the Crying Child, we get a glimpse at a green shirted variant with blue pants. This is most likely a nod to the sprites of children that had appeared in the minigames present in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Gold Endo is a recolor of Mad Endo, or Overclock in FNAF World, replacing the silver look with a gold finish and black eyes with white pupils. Its eyes resemble the looks of the Phantom animatronic eyes from FNAF 3. Chipper's Revenge is a metallic recolor of the Lumberbot 5.0 from Scott's old game Chipper & Sons Lumber Co. The Lumberbots were a series of robot beavers who would help run the company by chopping down trees, collecting wood, and making lumber for the player. The fifth upgrade being the one that shares the familiar appearance of Chipper's Revenge in FNAF World. It's quite hard to make out, but this model is either the same or slightly altered for his FNAF World debut, looking like a lighter silver color was used instead. Seaweed, Flan, and Rot are these slime, jello-looking characters present as enemies in FNAF World. Each one has teeth and eyes that resemble the looks of the many different endoskeletons in the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Seaweed has a saturated green color with bright yellow pupils, is found in Lilligere Lake, and is seen rotating their head around. Flan is a darker green, almost teal color compared to Seaweed, and rocks their head back and forth in dusting fields. Rot can be found in the deep metal mine areas of the game, and depicts a purple appearance with white pupils that also kinda looks like the Phantom animatronics from FNAF 3. Honestly, and maybe this is just me, but Rot has a strong resemblance to what Michael Afton looks like in the Sister Location Custom Night cutscenes. And with the name Rot, you could assume that Michael's body is actually rotting due to simply being a skin suit, but this could be a reach. In FNAF 57, Freddy in Space, another recolor can be seen with black eyes, yellow pupils, and overall has a bright blue appearance. Seems like there's a whole family of these little guys. Graveweed is a recolor of Bounce Pot, giving off a rotten appearance. In addition to this, Graveweeds have two heads, whereas Bounce Pots only have one. Look, they've found a friend. Two friends actually, since we can see that there's a third fly compared to Bounce Pot's amount of flies. I couldn't imagine how they both smell though. Tombstack is a recolor of Totemole, with a darker appearance and red eyes. Unlike Totemole, whose segments move left and right, Tombstack's segments move up and down, showing the lighter inside of its body. Chillax has a similar appearance to the Mechrab, but instead has a blue shell and antenna, quickly flashing yellow. The same can be said about their legs, however, they turn to a lighter blue. There's also a version of Chillax that is instead just predominantly yellow, that only appeared in FNAF World's teaser trailer. Black Trap is a recolor of Bear Trap, being significantly darker in color and with an added purple hue to its lighting. The bear part of the Bear Trap seems to be purple, as its ears and eyelids are also purple. It's almost like someone ripped off both of Shadow Freddy's ears and eyes. Poor guy. Metal Man is a metallic recolor of Chop and Roll, with small spikes lining his roller instead of wooden dots. He also has bright green eyes compared to Chop and Roll's yellow eyes. His animation displays him in a more crazy attitude, fitting because we can also see him in FNAF 57, Freddy in Space, although he has a slightly different appearance. This new Metal Man is fitted with two arm cannons and has bright red eyes instead of a green pair. Pork Patch, while not specifically a recolor, has a similar appearance to that of Bubba. No, wrong Bubba. He is a giant pig animatronic made entirely out of tan, purple, pink, and green colored patches all around his body. He also dons two yellow buttons and sports a large pig-like snout with buck teeth. With Frankenstein-like features, many people believe that Pork Patch could be a giant amalgamation between the mediocre melodies of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, since a lot of the colors present in the patches resemble these animatronics. Just missing Orville. Sweet, sweet Orville. Brow Boy is the main boss in Pinwheel Circus, and is a recolor of Ball Boy, with significant changes to his design. Brow Boy possesses a unibrow, a purple-black striped shirt and hat. Many of the features present on Brow Boy are huge compared to Ball Boy's features, including his hands, hat, unibrow, and overall body shape. Goldmine is a gold/yellow version of Quarry, with red eyes and is found in the deep metal mines. Their back legs are floating, due to Goldmine using their huge hands to suspend them. It seems like their red eyes could potentially be rubies. I'll just be taking a few. There are also 3 sets of glitched enemies in FNAF World. These enemies exclusively appear when the player clips through the various glitched objects present around FNAF World's overworld. Each one are harsh photonegative versions of enemies present in FNAF World's base game that are difficult to face for new players having instant kill attacks and high health. FNAF World Halloween Edition was a troll game for FNAF World, which was released on October 28th of 2015. which in of itself is a reskin of one of Scott's older games, Fighter Mage Bard. FNAF World's Halloween edition provides the player with a lot of earlier versions of enemies we see in FNAF World. Since a lot of these characters are present in FNAF World's base game, I wanted to very quickly go over these enemies by just listing them off. Party Hat B is a recolor of Party Hat A, which is actually a Five Nights at Boys reference. Scott confirmed this too. Brow Boy is a recolor of Ball Boy. Big Jack is a recolor of Mad Jack. Mud Pie is a recolor of Half Bake. Zangle is a recolor of Tangle. Quad Endo is a recolor of Mad Endo. Red Bear is a recolor of Prototype. And Anchovy is a recolor of Cheesehead. Gray Freddy is a recolor of the Atari-styled Freddy seen at the beginning of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. Seen mirroring the character's movements, this version of Freddy is stylized in grayscale, with two white pupils poking out. While he's not necessarily supposed to represent anything, many people believe that this could indicate either Shadow Freddy or Lefty, as they're both darker recolors of a normal Freddy. Paper Pals are the new versions of the Paper Pals present in FNAF 2, with different designs. I feel like if the other Paper Pals count, then these should as well. For $5 on Dumpster Diver Weekly, these new Paper Pals have 3 distinct designs that differentiate them from their previous iterations. 2 of the new Paper Pals are visually distinct from the ones we've known in the series, with different colored arms and legs and brand new faces to match. However, one of the Paper Pals shows a strong resemblance to Paper Buddy from FNAF 2. Purchasing them will display them on the walls of your own pizzeria. It just doesn't get any better than this. The Balloon Children, is kind of what I call them, are kids that roam around in both Lemonade Clown and Fruit Punch Clown's minigames and Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. All the Balloon Kids really are just weird versions of Adventure Balloon Boy from FNAF World, with a missing hat and balloon. When caught, these guys will jump in the air where their eyes get much larger, and strangely enough, they lose 2 of their teeth. So I know that getting into the minigames is a whole nother rabbit hole, pun intended, but I at least wanted to mention the green guy that stands outside of Junior's in the Midnight Motorist minigame. When entering a secret side opening in the Midnight Motorist minigame and taking a detour to Junior's, the player will meet with an identical green version of the Yellow Man sprite. When approached, the green guy will say, "Come on, you know you can't be here. Don't make this more difficult than it has to be." It's been heavily theorized that the location of Junior's could potentially be a restaurant or even a bar, and the green guy might just be a bouncer used to get the Yellow Man to leave. As a lot of you may know, the mystery behind this minigame is still up for debate, especially considering the identities behind the many different characters we see present. This topic may even get its own video, considering the definitive facts we know and what to consider revolving any actual answers. Monochrome Funtime Freddy mask is a monochromed version of Funtime Freddy. He looks practically identical to that of Funtime Freddy, except his pink accents have turned gray. His ears and cheeks are now black, and he has red glowing eyes. Present in the cover of the 4th closet, and as a decoration in the sister location office in Ultimate Custom Night, this version of Funtime Freddy doesn't really do anything. He definitely looks cool though. Version 1.032 of Ultimate Custom Night added different trophies that players can unlock after beating difficult modes in the game. Anyone with 8,000 points or above will have a bronze Freddy statue on their menu screen, players with 9,000 points or above will have a silver Freddy statue, and players who have beaten the infamous 50-20 mode will have a golden Freddy statue on their menu screen. No, not that golden Freddy, this golden Freddy. Loading Golden Freddy, which is more like Gray Freddy, is simply a grayscale version of Golden Freddy that is used as a loading symbol in the mobile port of Ultimate Custom Night. In FNAF Help Wanted, selecting the Freddy Parts and Service level in the black light or hard mode lever gets us a better look at Dark Freddy. Dark Freddy shares the same model that Freddy Fazbear uses in Help Wanted, but has strong similarities to that of Shadow Bonnie or RXQ. He appears with black and white freckles at the beginning of the stage, but the level itself is largely the same. Party Freddy is much like the appearance of Dark Freddy, but with a red glow effect applied to Freddy's black eyes and teeth. In the Night Terror's Pizza Party level, that animatronic will end the level with a jump scare if the player wastes too much of their time. Neon Bonnie and Neon Chica are Bonnie and Chica's hard mode recolors for the Parts and Service levels. Neon Bonnie and Neon Chica are Bonnie and Chica's hard mode recolors for the Parts and Service levels. They both seem to have a glow effect applied, and a pearlescent purple, pink, or blue overall look, depending on the lighting. With both animatronics having black eyes, Bonnie is seen with bright blue pupils, and Chica has yellow ones. To add to this, a neon version of the cupcake is also seen with Neon Chica in this level, strangely being the nightmare variant instead of good old Mr. Cupcake. The character encyclopedia says that this cupcake has a Mexican Day of the Dead look to him. Burnt Foxy is yet another hard mode recolor for Foxy's parts and service level. This version of Foxy has a burnt-like appearance, hence the name, and a lack of any pupils, replaced with glowing orange eyes. It's also interesting to mention that he is the only hard mode character not to appear in the Pizza Party level, due to the fact that there is no Foxy in that level. Beacon Bonnie is a glitched version of Bonnie that can sometimes appear in Funtime Foxy's hard mode level. Well, honestly, this is kind of a lie. Beacon Bonnie can, strangely enough, only be seen in Endo 01's jump scare in this level. Beacon Bonnie, a nickname given to him by fans, appears to have normal Bonnie's textures incorrectly applied to him, giving him this strange appearance. Dark Foxy is a recolored version of Foxy that appears in the FNAF 1's hard mode level. While not actually referred to as a separate animatronic within the game's files, he has been considered to be an alternate variant by many fans. While his color scheme follows the same black and white look that the rest of the animatronics have in this level, his left eye is glowing white. I guess I could also mention Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and maybe even the Nightmare Cupcake present in this level, but the color scheme is more so applied to the whole level than the characters specifically. But Foxy is just special. Dark Mangle, sometimes being called Shadow Mangle, is again another hard mode recolor, this time for Mangle in Help Wanted. She attacks alongside Mangle himself in the blacklight level of Vent Repair Mangle. Apparently, they're referred to as a shadow animatronic that looks similar to Mangle, but with different colored eyes in FNAF's Ultimate Guide. The blacklight versions of the main 4 animatronics, well, not in the actual game, can be found left over in the game's files. There are textures and models for the blacklight versions of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. However, Foxy's textures are only applied to his eyes, but according to the character guidebook, he would have looked like this. It's heavily implied that this would be the animatronic's appearances when pressing the scrapped Showtime button in the Nightmare/Hard Mode hub world. These blacklight characters are obviously based off their appearances in Funko's official merchandise regarding recolors of the FNAF 1 animatronics for their figures, Funko Pops, and mystery minis. Freddy Frostbear, Shamrock Freddy, Golden Freddy, Chocolate Bonnie, Easter Bonnie, High Score Toy Chica, System Error Toy Bonnie, Radioactive Foxy, Toxic Springtrap, Broiler Baby, Scorching Chica, Flaming Springtrap, Plush Trap with the stitching texture across the character, Frost Plush Trap, Jacko Bonnie, Jacko Chica, Heartsick Baby, and Blackheart Bonnie are all recolors in FNAF AR, according to my rules set out. I could also see how the original animatronics constitute as recolors since they look slightly different to how they look in the games, and Golden Freddy is straight up a golden version of Freddy. So, VR Toy Freddy, Firework Freddy, Liberty Chica, Flamethrower Bear Endo, Ringmaster Foxy, Little Red Chica, Magician Mangle, Serpent Mangle, Clown Springtrap, Woodland Toy Freddy, Boulder Toy Bonnie, Swamp BB, Black Ice Frostbear, Curse, Melted Chocolate Bonnie, Big Bad Foxy, Dark Water Bear Endo, Sunken Toy Bonnie, Piranha Plush Trap, Aeronaut Toy Freddy, Jetpack BB, Arctic Ballora, Clockwork Ballora, and Great Escape Golden Freddy are technically not recolors and could constitute as their own different versions of these characters. They either have some accessory on or have completely different models that give them this title. Some characters on this list, like for example Flamethrower Bear Endo, without the welder's mask, could be considered a recolor without the accessory as they are a literal recolor of Endo 01. Sun and Moon could be recolors, but largely these 2 animatronics are part of a larger conglomerate as the daycare attendant. Still, the Sun personality is brighter in color, showcasing strong uses of yellows and reds, with rays of sunshine emitting from their head. The Moon personality uses lots of blues and grays, with a sleeping cap on their head. The daycare attendant solely resides in the daycare of the Pizzaplex, but sometimes the Moon personality can show up on certain segments in the game, leading to a jump scare if Gregory doesn't hide in Freddy quickly. Mapbot and Partybot are simply just different versions of the Staffbot design to fill the Pizzaplex with recognizable faces during your playthrough. These 3 are recognizable in the locations they inhabit. Mapbot is seen next to the elevator entrance on the 3rd floor. Another is found in the parts and service area, in the fire escape ending, and in the van ending where you run him over. The map bot is very close in appearance to the normal staff bots throughout the Pizzaplex, but featuring a rimmed hat, some large glasses, an information decal on their chest, and a small satchel to carry his precious maps. Party bots are the staff bots that stand in front of certain areas of the game and act as an obstacle for Gregory. Giving them a party pass will let the player progress through the Pizzaplex, replacing the tame blue color present on the default staff bots. Party bots are displayed with a royal purple color and a silver-like texture on the top segment of their face. While you'd think that other staff bots like the comedy bot, magician bot, pizza bot, attendant bot, Nancy bot, or server bot could constitute as recolors, their designs are largely distinct to them and not direct recolors of other animatronics. They're basically normal staff bots with clothes or accessories on, which, like I've said before, isn't really a recolor. In the Princess Quest minigames, we see a literal shadow of the princess character we play as in certain segments of the levels. Her design is identical to that of the princess, besides being slightly translucent and darker in color. I mean, it's literally a shadow. Interestingly enough, in the first version of Princess Quest, which I'll remind you was in the Help Wanted mobile port, we see the different glitch trap enemies with green eyes and mouths. Referred to as glitch trap blockers / chasers and glitch trap heads, the security breach versions of these enemies have white mouths and eyes instead of green. I guess that means that the security breach versions are the recolors in this case. And yeah, that should be every, for real this time, recolored animatronic in the Five Nights at Freddy's series. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.